Hello students, I welcome you all to this session. Myself G. Sharmila, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. In this session, we are going to learn about the introduction to XML. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss in this session. First one is we are going to see the introduction part of an XML. Then what is XML? The characteristics of XML, origin of an XML, what is SGML, what is HTML, and the syntax to create a complete XML document, and how we can say the document is a well-formed XML document. These are the content which we are going to discuss in this session. First part is Introduction to XML. XML is nothing but it stands for Extensible Markup Language, and it is a text-based markup language. So it is mainly derived from standard generalized markup language. XML is basically handy format for everything from configuration, files to data, and the document of almost any type. The first version of XML was recommended by W3C in the year of 1998. The syntax of XML can be created on how we can structure them by defining the specific grammar. Here the grammar means the topic of DTD and XML schema. We will discuss about the XML document using CSS style sheet and how to transform and render them with a family of XML based languages with the concept of XSL, XSLT and XPath. XML is a software and hardware independent tool for storing and transporting a data. XML is a markup language much like a HTML. You all know about HTML, right? So XML was designed to be self-descriptive. Self-descriptive is nothing but it can create their own tags. So here in XML, all the tags are user-defined tags. There is no predefined tags like HTML. XML tags identify the data and are used to store and organize the data rather than specifying how to display it like HTML tag, which are used to display the data. Rather, in XML, we are going to identify and store and organize the data instead of displaying only the data. Origin of XML. XML emerged as a way to overcome the shortcoming of its two predecessors. One is SGML and another one is HTML. So both are restricted in some ways. Coming for HTML, it is too limited, whereas SGML is too complex. XML instead is a software and hardware independent, light and simple tool for creating information. The key point is that using an XML, the scientific organization, industries and other companies can specify how to store a specific data in a machine understandable format so that the applications running on any platform can easily import and process these data. What is XML? XML is a simple, very flexible text format used for description of marked up content. XML is classified as extensible because it allows the user to define the markup element. It is defined as a markup language because it allows to make explicit an interpretation of a text using a set of markup conventions. Conventions is nothing but tags. XML is playing an important role in the exchange of a wide variety of data and the web. XML's purpose is to aid information system in sharing structured data, especially via the internet, to encode a document and to serialize the data. So it is meant for the security. XML provides a basic syntax that can be used to share an information between different applications and different organizations without using expensive and time-consuming conversions. There are three important characteristics of XML. XML is extensible because it allows you to create your own self-descriptive tag or language that suits your application. XML carries the data because it does not present it. XML allows you to store the data irrespective of how it will be presented. XML is a public standard because it was developed by an organization called the W3C, which means World Wide Web Consortium, and is available as an open standard. Let's see about what is HTML. We all know that HTML stands for Standardized Generalized Markup Language. This functionality is particularly useful for cataloging and indexing our data. HTML can be used to create an infinite number of markup language and has a host of other resources as well. It has been used by an expert and scientific communities. HTML is really a complex and expensive. Adding HTML capability to an application could double its price. Thus, from the web point of view, the commercial browsers decided not to support HTML. HTML and XML are widely used for the definitions of device-independent, system-independent method of storing and processing a text in electronic form. Comparing the two languages, basically XML is a simplification or derivation of HTML, developed thinking at the emerging web technologies. Let's see about HTML. As well-known application of HTML is HTML, which is the publishing language of the World Wide Web. It defines a specific set of tags for structuring content and for publishing it over internet. HTML is free, simple and widely supported. It has series of defects. The original thinking was to separate the content from presentation, but the evaluation of HTML lost these purposes. Compared with HTML and XML has some important characteristics. XML is extensible, so it does not contain a fixed set of tags. Additionally, XML document must be well formed according to strict set of rules and may be formally validated. While HTML document can contain errors and still the browser render the pages as well as possible. This is the syntax of XML document on how we can able to create a XML document. XML document consists of a prologue. The first line consists of a prologue that includes the XML declaration and an optional references to external structuring document, and the body consists of a number of elements which may contain also attributes. So this is the syntax for having a prologue. So open and close angular bracket. Then it should start with a question mark. XML version, we want to mention the XML version is equal to 1.0, which should be given within the double quotations. And finally we want to close the angular bracket with the help of a question mark. These elements are organized in a hierarchical structure, meaning that there can only be one root element, also called the document element, and all other elements lie within the root. Here I have an example for an XML document. First line is nothing but it is a prologue which we want to include at the first line. This is not mandatory. So if you want to include some future, we can include this prologue. Here I have included a feature called standalone is equal to S. It means that we want to remain in the same line and we don't want to move somewhere to other form. So this is the meaning of the standalone is equal to 9. Yes. So if we mention the standalone is equal to no, so we can link the one or more forms. Here, the root element is message and the sub-elements are from and to. This is a simple example for XML document. So how we can say it as a XML document is a well-formed XML document, so that we have some set of rules. So XML has a strict rules, and a XML document must be correctly structured in an order to be machine understandable. So XML document must be well formed. According to W3C, a well formed XML document is defined as a document that has at least one element containing a unique opening and closing tag that encloses the whole document, called the root element, that has all the elements with the closing tag or empty elements correctly written, that has all the tags and attributes names written according to the case sensitive rule. That is, for example, the tag name, everything in small case, right? So cannot be closed as a some other case. Here the name starting the first letter N as a capital K. So this is not possible. That has all the elements properly listed. That has all the attribute value always quoted correctly. That means it could be inside the double quotation. Attribute value should be quoted as a double quotation. That is the meaning of it. So by now we can conclude our session. I think all of you can get a clear idea about XML, introduction part of an XML. So we will see in our next session. Thank you all.